I welcome everybody to another edition of Deconversion Stories. We have figured out our technical issues and we are with you finally. Sorry for the delay. It's partially my fault. As like an idiot, I left my power cord downstairs where I was hanging out earlier, drinking some beers and smoking some doobs and whatnot. And I totally forgot my power cord down there. Must have been the weed. But anyways, yeah. Well, actually, I brought the little power box part with me, but the plug that plugs into the outlet, I left that still in the outlet.
Exactly what you're talking about. Yep. I've been there.
Yeah, and I was afraid, shit, if I don't go get it now, my buddy's cat's going to chew the crap out of it.
Absolutely. Cats love that. What's up with that?
I know. I don't know. Cords, man. My roommate's got the spray you can put on that stuff. So I think it's made out of Bitrix, so they don't want to chew on it.
That makes sense.
I should really spray all my shit with that stuff, really. But anyways, Wolf Brother, you know what I do here. I talk to people about their stories, about how they left either a belief system for none or one belief system for the other. It's still a deconversion of sorts. So why don't you take us back to when you used to be in the Abrahamic faith of Christianity, and what led you from that to becoming a pagan / heathen / polytheist as you are now with the Norse gods and stuff?
Man, that's a wild ride. I mean, a very wild ride. I was raised heavily Christian, and my grandfather he was a Southern Baptist preacher my entire life.
Wow, how was that?
Well, it was pretty wild, man. Because like in his community, he was famous. Like he was loved by everybody. I mean, he's a good guy, nice guy, really nice guy. But he was never serious with me. It was always like a joke. I felt like I could never get a straight word out of him. He was always trying to joke around, and that was probably him like masking some pent up rage that he couldn't let out because he was the preacher and all that. But I have no issues with him. He was a good guy to me. He treated me well. My grandmother was extremely stern. She was the stick side of that relationship. And she was very stern. The small community down in we live in the Bible Belt. So it was weird because when I would go to church, I was the preacher's grandson. And everybody kind of like looked to me to be like the model kid or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
You're like the co-star if your grandpa was like
yeah,
right?
for sure. But I mean, I enjoyed church as a kid. I did well. I didn't like cause a whole bunch of problems. I sang in the choir. I love music. My dad has a Bachelor of Arts in music. My grandmother on my other side of the family, she's kind of like semi-famous. She played piano for the original band of brothers that the show is based on. Like she played for those people when they went off to war and died.
Wow.
So she's got that accommodation. Taught piano her whole life, all that stuff. But I grew up in that environment. I questioned like everything constantly. Nothing ever made a whole lot of sense to me. I didn't put a whole bunch of stock into it, but we still went to church all the time. As I got a little bit older, into my teen years, I started to rebel. I was a wild kid, as you can probably tell by looking at me.
Hey, I never judge books by their covers, okay?
I know, right?
But in the back of my mind, I'm going, this guy's a troublemaker.
Yeah. I had a wild streak in me, especially in my teens, when I started to rebel a little bit. But
cheers.
I know. But my family, especially my mom was real controlling. She used a lot of the like religious tactics to control everything, and she's got a whole bunch of problems anyways. But she used the religion to help further her personal agenda of being that control freak. And one of the times, like one of the things, I mean, it really is. It's all about control. And anyone who says otherwise is just fooling yourself.
Yep.
But one of the main things growing up, which I thought was wild, was I wasn't allowed to go trick-or-treating. like ever. I think I went trick-or-treating
What?
once as a kid. Yeah, man, wasn't allowed. That was Satan's holiday.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Right? And actually I believed I took what my parents told me on faith like so often, just because I was raised to obey the parents and listen to the parents. And even though I had like no justification for it, I just listened to them when they said that. So I would go to school and we would have like a history lesson. I specifically remember it was art in like 6th grade. And the art teacher was talking about making this art for Halloween. And I was like, well, actually Halloween is Satan's holiday. And she was like, no, it was to honor the dead spirits, not worship them like evil. And she was a Christian. Like, I knew her. She went to the church that we went to, but she was correcting what I had been told my whole life. The reason I couldn't go trick-or-treating like all my friends. You know, I would have friends in the neighborhood come by and knock on my door and going, what are you coming out? I'm like, no. Well, can I have some candy? Sorry, I'm not allowed to give you candy either.
What?
Yeah, it was so weird, man. It was so weird. Like, looking back on it, that was a weird one.
There's violins playing in my head right now.
Well, it gets a little weirder. I promise. It's going to get weirder.
Before you do this,
yeah,
I just wanted to point out Via the Heathen had a question: which Satan? Which is actually quite correct, because the original term Satan was in Hebrew was Hashatan, which meant the adversary, and it could mean a number of people. So,
man, I guarantee you they don't know. I guarantee you that they don't know. I've never heard my grandfather mention Hebrew. See, it wasn't until I started digging into polytheism that I realized how bunk Christianity was, from stealing from all these other cultures and all these other names that they got wrong and all this other crazy stuff that you don't realize you've been lied to your whole life when you're stuck inside that echo chamber. So I just Lucifer of the Bible, I guess, is who they were referring to. That one. Yeah, him. You know the guy, red and horns and forked tail and tongue and all that stuff.
Yeah, but he's a pretty cool guy from what I hear.
Man, looking back on it, like, yeah, seems like a pretty chill dude. He's got some good commandments. That's all I know. It's better than the other guys.
Oh, but tell me about it.
Right, but I'll go from that was like no trick-or-treating. That's like on the small scale. I'll go ahead and ratchet it all the way up to 10 for you. Sure. I started to rebel against my mom a little bit. Like, I was always like the yes man, always in the family. My parents divorced, they split up, and I reminded my mom too much of my dad. She hates me to this day because of that. She and I don't really speak, which sucks, but it is what it is. I had to do it for my own personal safety. Me and my brother, we get along great. Me and my dad, we get along great. My step-parent, my dad and my stepmom, they have kids together, and we get along great. It's all a good, happy family over there. But my sister, my mom, and I, we don't talk. And one of the reasons is when I started to rebel a little bit, like saying, no, you're not making any sense, or no, I'm not going to do that. You're being ridiculous. Why can't I go be a normal kid and like go hang out with my friends? Like, I wouldn't be able to go hang out with my friends just because she said so. And they were a bad influence and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, I guarantee you I'm the bad influence here. Just let me go hang out with my friends. And so they convinced I guess my mom was talking to my grandparents. I don't know how this came about, but one day my mom like get in the car, and I'm like, all right. No. And so we drive down the road to my grandparents' house. I'm like, oh, we're going to grandparents' house. Cool. Why? This is not a normal time for us to be doing this. She's just like, you'll see when we get there. I'm like, oh, this is great. And so I get there, and there's this lady who I've never seen before. And looking back on it now, I know like what she was, but they just kind of passed her off as a family friend who I'd never met before, and she was there to help me. She was a demonologist, and she was there to expel the demons that were inside of me. And she made everybody leave the house, and I was alone with this woman. I was like young teens. It's really hard to remember because I didn't realize how fucked up that was until I got older, and I'm trying to like look back and nail stuff down in my history.
There was all those demons that were involved too, right?
Yeah. It's all the demons clouding my memory, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So she started speaking in tongues. She started like she made everybody leave. She started like praying over me. She started crying in a language that I didn't understand. I don't know if it was Hebrew. I don't know if it was just babble, and she was putting on a show. I don't know. I don't know how much she thought she was actually doing, but I'll never forget thinking, man, this is stupid. I bet if I shake my arm, she'll stop. I don't know why I thought that as a kid at my age, whatever age I was. But I was like, yeah, just shake your arm. Because she like had both hands on me, like, you know, just holding on to me as she's like chanting. And I just kind of like shake my hand a little bit. And then shortly afterwards, she stops and she goes, I felt that. Did you feel that? And I was like, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I did.
Of course I felt it. I did it.
But yeah. So that happened. And I was like, yeah, I feel a lot better. Thanks a lot, everybody. Can I go home now? Like, please.
Well, I got a little piece of something that might make you feel even a little bit more better. Are you familiar with Frustrated Atheist, my friend Russ?
Yeah, I hung out with him last night in Nakatsuchi's chat.
Oh, awesome. He says you are now an ordained pastor of the Church of Bacon. Sizzle be upon you. So
that's awesome. And I actually am an ordained minister, and I've done 2 weddings, and I do another one at the end of October, and I've got another one scheduled for next year as well. I specialize in non-religious weddings so that people don't feel like they have to go to a priest.
Excellent. That's great. Where were you when I got married briefly?
Hey, man, I've been down here. I'll get you again next time you need me.
No, it's okay. I made the mistake. That's all you need.
I get that a lot.
Found out my wife was 3 months into the marriage, or just under 3 months into the marriage. I found out she was doing cocaine and other dudes and teaching her kids to lie to me about the whole thing. Yeah.
Bitches be crazy, man. Love you, bitches.
Some of them.
Love you, bitches. But bitches be crazy.
Some of them, for sure, yeah.
But, yeah. At one point, I'll tell another little story and how they handle situations. I was a dumb kid, and I shoplifted from Target at like 9 or 10 years old. I was young, super young. At the age you pull stupid shit like that. And
I did it too, buddy. I
should have known better. I'm not condoning what I did at all. I was an idiot kid, and I deserved punishment. But I got scared as hell. And I don't know where I came up with the lie, but I probably like heard it on TV or cartoon or something. They said, "Why did you do it?" And I said, "The voices in my head told me to do it."
Uh-oh.
But I said it like a question. I remember how I worded it. And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, they're not yelling. Yeah, let's push this a little bit and see where it goes." And I was like, "Yeah." And maybe it's hard to remember because at that age, you know, you're stupid and a kid. Maybe I thought that like I meant the voice in my head, like, you know, the internal monologue that you have with yourself.
Yeah.
But they immediately, yeah, right. I know. Can you shut up for 5 seconds?
Really?
But yeah, I ended up in a mental institution in South Georgia
because of this.
Yeah, for this. It was, they didn't talk to me about it anymore, and they didn't like go see a professional, and they didn't like have anybody question me about it. It was just the next day I ended up in the hospital with kids who actually had problems. Like I was at that point still a goody two shoes kid, you know, dressed very nicely, came from a nice family. I mean, my family's was at the time well-to-do off, nice neighborhood, nice vehicles, you know, lawn always cut, stuff like that. But yeah, I ended up in that crazy facility for way too long, and eventually I actually got really fucking sick there because I was being treated like kids who actually had problems. There were like 16-year-olds in there that would like burn their house down and stuff like that. And
Shit.
I took candy from Target. It was wild, man. And that's how those people handle those situations. Instead of trying to like fix the problem or find out what the problem really is, they pass it off to somebody else, or they stick you in a hole somewhere where nobody can find you.
Fuck. And all because you said you had voices in your head when they asked you why.
I think the way I worded it was the voice in my head told me to do it.
And wham bam, you're in an institution.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Fuck.
I don't think I'm crazy.
No, well, you know what? I always say all of us are a little crazy too.
We really are. We've all got a little something. We all got a little something.
Of course.
It's what makes us unique.
Human. Yeah. Or human. Really, because that's what it's about, man. So we're all just human beings, and all of us have little quirks or weird things that we do, and that, like you said, is a unique thing for every one of us. Yeah. So, man, just all I ever ask people is just to treat each other like humans. That's all we are. You know.
For sure.
Yeah, I also got caught stealing a Star Wars figure. A really, really hard to find one.
You see what's hanging up behind my head here, don't you?
I do, and I've been fascinated at the fact that it's spinning a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. My buddy gave this to me as like a joke birthday present. He stuck it inside a cardboard box that he printed out the Borg cube like outside, and so he papered up the box and made it look like the Borg cube. And when it opened it, that was inside the Borg cube. It was the Death Star inside the middle of it, and it's just a paper lantern that he spent time drawing to make it look like the Death Star, and then stuck that gold disc on it to make the laser disc. And I stuck it up behind me here.
Fuck I love it. That's a keeper.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, he spent like $2 on it, and it's like one of my most favorite things I've got.
I know one of the best gifts I ever got from a friend of mine. This is just too funny too. You've watched Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah, man. I grew up on that.
Cartoon? Yeah, and the log. Yeah, it's heavy as wood.
Yep.
Well, he went out and they had that, I guess, the high fashion log or something it was called.
And
he had this big box and he put a log in it, and he had like all sorts of other stuff in it, like a rattle or to distract me from what it actually was. And then he had like these army G.I. Joe clothes in there with a hammer and nails and stuff, so you could dress your log up.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny!
I know.
That's really clever.
Yeah, and I wish I still had it, but eventually I had it for years, I think 12 years, and it finally just dried up and started flaking and falling apart. So, yeah.
Need to get you a new log, man.
I know, I need a new log.
Hey, especially now that you're not married, you need a new friend.
I need someone to join me in bed here.
Yeah, man. Get your log on.
Yeah, get my log. I got the nice wig you can put on. Some log lipstick.
Fancy date log.
Yeah, exactly. From Blammo. And yes,
people, my gosh.
I do know the entire theme song for the log. So yes.
Good.
Just in case you're wondering. Anyway, yeah. So when did you decide that polytheism and the North's belief system was right for you?
So I'll move forward a little bit in my timeline.
If there's stuff we're going to be missing.
No, it's fine. I kind of like jump around a whole lot. In my teens,
like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, for sure. In my teens, I got back into like chorus and stuff because like we dropped out of church for a little while, but I got back into chorus in my teen times, and I enjoyed singing because I really enjoy music. Like it fuels everything I do. I I can't function without music half the time. I've always got something playing. Like our house is just full of music. We got speakers in every room. You know, connect the phone to whatever speakers in whatever room. It moves around with you. It's a whole lot of fun.
Awesome.
And I love all kinds of music. So, you know, gospel choir, it was still fun to do whether or not I believed in what I was saying. It was just really nice to make music with people. I grew up in the marching band, stuff like that. My daughter's following in my footsteps. I'm really excited about that. But so as I moved forward, I steadily fell out of church. By the time I graduated high school, I'd stopped going to church altogether. I was too busy working all the time, and just I didn't believe any. Like I knew in my head I didn't believe. When I got saved the very first time ever, I'll never forget that it was something that I felt like I had to do because of the, you know, family that I was in and the big church we were attending. It felt like everybody else was doing it, so I needed to do it too. But I'll never forget, as soon as I got done, I told a lie immediately that I got to swim around in the pool after I got done, which I didn't do. Like I knew I didn't do that. I don't know why I said that to those kids, but in my head, that stuck with me my entire life. It's like, you were just supposed to be, you know, becoming a born again Christian and all this stuff, and here you are lying right after this. You're not a real Christian, blah, blah, blah. And so in my teens,
more exciting.
I know, right? And that was like 7. I was like 6 or 7. I was young.
Yeah.
But when I was in my teens, I we would do these like church camps where they would spend thousands of dollars and send 20 to 30 kids down to Florida, because I'm in Georgia. Send them down to Florida, and it'd be like this vacation for Jesus. This one organization called Super Wow, which is basically like a rock concert all week for Jesus. And you stay in condos, and you go to the Fort Walton Convention Center, and you just have this like rock concert for like 6 hours a day. And it's just like constant rock music that's gospel or, Christian rock music and stuff like that. I rededicated my life there. And even then, I'll never forget it. The guy was super chill. It was with him that I felt that I could be the most honest about questioning everything. And I told him, I was like, I don't have any evidence. Like, there's zero evidence. And where is it? If he's real, where is it? And so he told me, he said, look, ask him for evidence. And I was like, all right. And so I did. And we stood there for like, 10, 15 seconds of silence. And he goes, what, do you want a lightning bolt to strike here between our feet? Or what are you waiting on? And I was like, man, I don't know. I was like, something. Exactly. I was like, something. Can I get something? He goes, just give it time. And I was like, all right, fine. And so
perfect
I know. Yeah. And so, but that stuck with me because that's kind of what led me into my polytheism a little bit. Because there were times when I needed help, that I was in a situation where I needed help quickly, and it seemed like there was none to be found. And I would ask for it, and I feel like, personally, I received the help that I asked for in a way that was beneficial for me. And I could never explain how I got out of the situation that I was in, or why the situation went the way that it did for me, or why the cards folded out exactly how I needed them to, or else everything would have fallen apart. There's been many points in my life that's happened since the guy told me, ask for help. And so that's kind of what kept me thinking that there had to be something out there. It's the reason I'm not an atheist right now, is because I had that conversation with him at like 16 years old. And when I asked for help, or when I felt like I needed help, there was help there that I can't explain. And it could all just be a super duper coincidence. Easily. It could.
I wouldn't say coincidence. I say we plant seeds in our subconscious, and then we subconsciously bring those seeds to full growth.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's just like you have a dream about spiders, and then all you see is spiders. It's,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, this is an omen. No, it's just, it's
really.
in your forefront of your mind.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
you're able to notice things more. And
I think the main thing is that you were able to deal with your problems and resolve them and get free of them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the important part.
And so for like 10 years, maybe a little bit less than that, didn't really believe, especially did not like dedicate any kind of like energy towards Christianity. My wife and I decided about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that, somewhere around there, that we needed to find a church. Because there's one thing that Christian churches, especially in the South, have over every other religion in the world, and that's hospitality. Hospitality and community. If you are in that church, you automatically have a support system and a family. Whether it's tainted by Christianity or not is a good thing or a bad thing. That's for whoever's in the situation to decide. But they will help their own if you were in that community. And it proved very true for us. We were taken in immediately. And of course, my wife and I were really nice people. I hate to be that humble, but we're easy to get along with. We bring a lot to the table as well. And so we were accepted with open arms, and the people actually ended up being really chill. They weren't fundamentalists. They didn't really have a denomination. I wouldn't pin them as Methodist or Baptist or anything like that. They were just preaching on Sunday. They were it was very contemporary. It was very modern. They rented out like a warehouse building and converted it. And so there were areas of the church where like you could see the piping in the ceiling, but they liked that aesthetic, stuff like that. There was a rock band in the morning, and one of the guys I got to be friendly with, the lead guitarist, he could shred like nobody I've seen before. Huge fan of his musical work. He's
Send him my way.
Yeah, for sure. I need to get you guys to hook up. And see, he's still like, I'm on all of my social media, even my personal Facebook page, which I don't try to hide too well, but I am trying to move away from like broadcasting it everywhere. If somebody finds it, they find it. But
you mean your Facebook page?
Yeah.
Shit, because I put a link to it below.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care. It's not a big deal, honestly. I forgot that you and I are friends on Facebook. We don't really communicate over Facebook much. It's all Twitter.
I don't go on. I go on Facebook just to clear my messages.
Yeah, I live on Facebook. That's where I do all of my shit posting, and I'm a bit of an internet troll sometimes. But
I noticed and laughed multiple times.
Good. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the humor. But yeah. So like, to finish my story, I'm so bad about jumping around on stories. But
my streams are always like this, and
I know. I've watched a handful of them.
Awesome.
They're
I
great.
love it.
Yeah. So in that community, we were going to church, and I find myself often, because the preacher didn't try to make it a point about, they were all about life lessons, and he did it the only way that would have kept me there for as long as it did. And I actually ended up becoming really good friends with the guy and all the other guys in the group. They were all, I'm going to piss off a few people. We're all really into guns together. We all agreed on self-defense and stuff like that. So we bonded over that. We bonded over, being real men, but not in the toxic masculinity way. It was all about being good men for your family, how to raise a good child and stuff like that. And people who know me and know the kind of guy I am, like the people who know Wolf, Oh, hush, Via. Wolf is canceled. Fuck you. But people who know me, if I'm saying that they really weren't that bad, you gotta just kind of take my word on it a little bit, because I don't put up with bullshit like that. I just don't. I won't put up with it. I won't put up with toxic masculinity. I hate that term so much, but I won't stick around it. I want to come up with a better term for that phenomenon. And that's actually going to be something that I tackle in a video series. I'm writing a script for it right now. But
wait! You don't have a YouTube channel though?
I do. I was actually gonna. Yeah, no. I
tried looking for it and couldn't find anything.
So I spent all day making a YouTube channel and a Gmail, and I rebranded everything. I see them posting my Twitter link. It's actually at Wolf the Red now. It's not at Wolf Strongbeard. I'm surprised that link worked, but I'm pretty sure I changed it on the Twitter.
They're going on about how my hair is as long as your beard, and the two should never connect.
Well, actually, my hair is pretty long. I just keep it shaved there, but
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, especially in the summertime, because it gets fucking stupid hot here in the summer.
Yeah, I keep.
I mean, it's
pretty long.
Halfway through September, and and it's still fucking hot here.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awful down here, man. It was 90 degrees today. It was stupid. I hated it.
It's not that hot here. But,
and the humidity, like the thermometer will say one thing, but it's like it feels like this. Well, that means that's how hot it is, man. Quit telling me. Quit telling me what it feels like.
I know what it feels like, motherfucker. Thank you.
But
and Doorknob, if you're worried about the light over me, they're saying there's a light above me. It must be some sort of divinity. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, buddy. It's just this thing. So.
Yeah, I've got a little setup too. My room is actually pitch black right now, and I've got one light. So
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a powerful little light.
I can boop. And actually that's just my screen monitors, but
yeah.
I've got a nice little desk lamp. But yeah, so the Christians, hung out with them, got to know them pretty well. They are actually some of the only ones I'll continuously vouch for. And if a Christian comes to me and says, "Hey, I need a church," I will send them to that church. I have no problem with people going and hanging out with them. They were okay to accept new ideas. They were okay to accept new people. They weren't racist. They were biblically homophobic, but they weren't personally homophobic. If that makes any sense.
I was just going to ask, like,
they believed that homosexuality was a sin, and I had a huge problem with that and got into many arguments with them. But they would invite gay people to go to church with them, and of course it's all to convert and to heal the gay, I'm sure. But they would have no problem inviting them out to dinner, and they would pay for their dinner. And of course, it's all probably part of the long play. But I never saw them do or say anything that was harmful to them. It was all just let them hang out and see if they like what they see. There wasn't a whole lot of pushing the preaching on. When the gay people were there, they didn't have a gay-centered sermon, stuff like that. So in the terms of Christianity, they were the least harmful Christians I've ever met, if that makes any sense. They were still Christians, and therefore still had some harmful tendencies.
Of course.
But they were easily some of the best Christians I've ever met in my life. And I still have major respect for a lot of them. But it was funny. I was like inviting people to church while not believing what I was listening to. And I was really just using it for the community and seeing, what I would get out of it. And I got a lot of good things out of it. I got some good friends out of it. I felt like the lessons that were being taught, if you removed the Christian bits from it, they were still good moral lessons to learn. And that's kind of what we did, what me and my wife did. And on the way home, I'd ask the kids, like, "Hey, what did what did y'all learn? Well, we learned this. I'm like, well, none of that's completely accurate, right? And so we'd have to have a history lesson on whether or not what they learned was true. But
How'd that turn out?
So in that time frame overlaps about the time I started getting interested in paganism, in Norse mythology. Everybody listen really closely. Whole chat, everybody who's listening, because you guys are
all right, everybody.
This is
ear to the speaker.
This is a big one. All right. Do y'all remember November 11th, 2011, when Skyrim came out?
Yes.
That's what did it. Skyrim made me a fucking pagan. So there's a lot to that.
That's awesome.
So in Skyrim, it's all Norse inspired. All of it. They just change most of the important words to something else so that they can make it their own. All Bethesda did was go in and change things like Earl to Jarl, and stuff like that. And they mushed words together to make them sound Norse and stuff like that. All
video games are evil confirmed.
It's true. Video games are evil. It's true. But I started picking up the books in the game because so here's a nerd fact about me. I have over 2,000 logged hours in Skyrim.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I might have 3 in total.
Yeah. I played
I don't have a lot of time.
Shit out of that game over the years. But so in that time, as I'm playing, I'm reading the books that Bethesda's put in there, and it's a whole bunch of like lore and myths that they copied from Norse myth. And they just changed names around and changed a few details and stuff like that to make it their own. But it was all like,
minor details.
Yeah, small stuff. Yeah. So as I'm Googling things, I'm looking stuff up on the wiki to like complete quests and where do I find this and what does this mean and what's the damage on this and how do I make the perfect this? As a video game nerd does, I'm running across articles that are tied to these books. I'm like, oh, well, I can just read them here instead of having to like track them down in game and have the game running while I read. I'll just read it on the internet. And then there would be related links to the real myth that the myth is based on. It's like based on this myth. I'm like, oh, well, let's see what this is. Click. And then down the Wikipedia rabbit hole I go, reading about Norse myth. And I'm like, oh shit, this is real. Like, this video game I'm playing is inspired by real things. This used to be real. And it just kind of like blew my mind. And so I spent years just kind of in my bored spare time when I would think about it, I would just start looking stuff up and read more about it. And I got really into like the Viking aesthetic. And I believe that draws a lot of people in the beginning. You get the bro-hallas, the guys who are all about, being all muscly and big beard. And of course, I mean, look at me, I got the biggest beard I know. But I didn't do it because of that. It just happened. I've had this beard as long as I can remember.
You don't shave. It'll
just
do that.
Hey, how'd you grow that beard? I didn't shave.
Not shaving?
Yeah.
That's how
I
put plant fertilizer on it.
I've been growing a beard since I was 11 years old, dude. I mean, I've been shaving. I started shaving at 12.
Did you? Me too.
Yep. Started shaving at 12. My dad was like, all right, it's time. Time's on. Come here. I'm going to show you.
There's a hair on your chin. You got to get rid of that.
Dude, I had like a goatee. I had like a full, like, dark goatee, like all right there. It stayed on my chin for a long time. And then in high school, it spread. And
Hi, Callan. I didn't even see you sneak into the chat.
Yeah, Callum was dogging on me for my Skyrim comment. I saw her.
Oh, really?
I saw her.
Callan's awesome. I had
Love her
an
to
interview.
death. She's the best.
Yeah, I had an interview with her a while back.
We can do a lot of trouble together on the internet.
I can see that.
I have to rein her in often. But so yeah, I got really into the Viking aesthetic. I started looking into Viking myths. I watched the show Vikings on History Channel.
Mhm.
Wasn't that big of a fan. I enjoyed season 1 and I enjoyed most of season 2, but I didn't really watch a whole lot of it. Like, people come up to me and go, "Oh, I bet you love Vikings." I'm like, actually, it's not that good.
I like it.
I guess I know too much of the history now because I spent so much time looking into it. So then when I would see something go on screen, I'd be like, "He didn't do that," or
that's
not what he wouldn't have done that. Like, I know the culture and I know how they would have acted in they wouldn't have done that. Like, there's no way that group of people would have done that in that way. That's not how that was. And so I spent too much time saying that too often in too many episodes that I was just like, all right, I'm not allowing myself to enjoy this, and I don't know how to turn that off. So I'm just
that's right. I've become good at if I want to watch something just for the pure entertainment value of it, I'm able to shut off that.
I usually can with everything else, man. Suspension of disbelief is like a superpower for me. I can do that with everything. For some reason, not that show. And maybe it was because I was actively researching at the time. Like, I was reading and then I was going to go watch the show. So I was like consuming as much as I could all at once, and there were conflicting things. So I just stuck with what I knew was real.
Too, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're deconstructing something that is close to you.
Right.
In a way, right?
A little bit. And so I definitely respect the show. I won't tell anybody not to watch it. I'll just let them know it's not really for me. And I enjoyed the first couple seasons, and honestly, that's why I cut my hair the way I did, was to go after Ragnar's haircut in season 1 and 2. I was like, fuck, that's some awesome looking hair.
I've only seen most of the first 2 seasons, so I have a lot to go yet.
Yeah. That's about where I fell off, was about that time when all that stuff was going down.
I'm watching Sons of Anarchy now.
No,
finally.
oh, dude. Oh, you and I, man, fuck my story. Let's talk about Sons of Anarchy. Where are you at? I gotta know.
I'm 3 episodes in season 1. Like, I just started.
Oh, I bought a motorcycle earlier this year because of Sons of Anarchy.
I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I refused to watch it for years because with me, if I watch something, I want to be able to watch the whole damn thing. But finally, season 5 ended, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'll start binge watching them, and by the time I get caught up, and then I can gather together with my friends every week and watch. It's like, I don't care. I just want to watch it.
Yeah, you just
and I did that with fucking what's the Gladiator one? Spartacus. Did it with that one too.
See, I never got around to watching Spartacus.
Oh my god,
that was my show that I never got to. I know.
Watch it.
I know. Hey guys, it's awesome. Good hanging out. I'm gonna go watch it.
It's fucking genius. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go rewatch it too. Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Those shows. Another really good one. It's not like historically thing is oh shit, where the guy goes to the town and takes on he pretends to be the sheriff or the new coming sheriff.
Deadwood?
And not Deadwood. Shit. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, put it in there because I can't remember the name of it. And the name of the show is the name of the town that he goes to. And it's got some fucking wicked fight scenes in it and stuff. And I can't remember what it's called now. He's a thief, and he breaks out of prison, and he did this big job where they got lots and lots of money, and he goes, No,
not Tombstone.
Not Tombstone. No. Oh my goodness, come on.
Keep talking.
Fuck me if I can think.
Keep talking about it.
I know, but I know the guy who lives downstairs. What's the name of that? Whoops, that show. This is great entertainment. Hey, watching Neil text his buddy. No, not too.
Hey, man, this is suspenseful as hell. I want to know what you're talking about. I hope your buddy texts you back quickly.
Yeah. Oh, he will. Well, he's playing crib right now. So, fuck, stop it, you fucking autocorrect bullshit.
Oh, that's the worst. Technology tries to
thinks it knows what I'm thinking.
Well, it tries to sabotage us, man.
All right.
But yeah, anyway, Sons of Anarchy. I grew up around motorcycles, wanted one my whole life. But I started watching Sons of Anarchy like when it came out. I was like 20, or when I like seriously started watching it. And I've watched through this series like 4 or 5 times. I'm obsessed. I love it. And
I'm already into it. I'm only 3 in.
My cousin runs a motorcycle club right down the road from me. He's like 15 minutes down the road, and he's got 20 or 30 people in it, and they are very Sons of Anarchy centered. Like a couple of them have got anarchy tattoos, and they all ride Harleys, and they're great people. Love hanging out with them. They get me to come out and ride with them often, so it's a lot of fun.
Okay. So the name of Sneaky Shay got it. The name of the show is Banshee.
Banshee. All right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, man, there's some fucking phenomenal fight scenes. Oh yeah. They don't pull any punches. Banshee is great.
I'll have to check it out.
And it's really not the normal kind of show that I usually go for. Like, I like the historical stuff. I like the sci-fis, the horrors. Like Penny Dreadful was another really cool one.
Oh, dude, Penny Dreadful was really good.
Yeah,
I only got into like the 2nd season of that, and then I fell off of it. Not because it was bad. I just got busy.
I love how Inquisitive Quandary, who's my moderator, likes to put all my links in there, and he always changes up. Like this one says, "Help Neil remember stuff." Go to
the one earlier was help Neil remember not to get married again. I was like, yes, that's a winner right there.
Brilliant.
Donate.
Oh, don't worry.
Donate. We don't want this. We don't want this guy getting married again.
No, this guy doesn't want to get married again. So, I mean, it's going to take somebody pretty fucking special to make me want to marry them again.
Hey, man, that's how I found my girl. It was an accident, and I swore him off. I was like, fuck him. Not doing it.
Yeah.
And then she walked into my life, and it was changed everything for the better.
I went,
crazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. She was awesome.
You're one of the lucky ones, my friend.
I am. I tell everybody, I was like, look, I know I'm one of the lucky ones. That's for sure.
It's going to take some super magical poontang.
Yeah, man.
At my age, it's not even about that anymore. At my age, I just want somebody that's willing to play Yu-Gi-Oh with me, or Magic the Gathering, or D&D, or something like that, right? So,
all right, what's your most recent D&D character?
Oh, good Lord! I had a what do you call it? A ranger, and my most recent D&D character. I haven't played D&D since about '96. Just so you know that. So yeah, and it was a ranger, and I also was playing another. Similar idea, but it was GURPS, the generic universal role playing system.
Yeah.
And I decided, I think I'll be Wolverine. But he had to start out with wooden claws, and then you kind of work your way into
working way up to the metal, yeah.
Or they start out as bone, and then they become some hardwood, and then they become like bronze or some shit ass metal, and then you work your way up, right? So it's pretty much the 2 that I've done. And the GURPS one, I think the last time I played the GURPS was probably 98, 99.
All right.
And they killed off my character because I had to go, and I had a job that I had to go to. Yeah, well, that paid pretty good at the time. And
now you can do it all online, man. You don't even have to leave your house. I play D&D through Roll20. I play like 3 or 4 nights a week, about 3 or 4 hours a night.
I agree with Ashley. GURPS is the best because you can pretty much incorporate any of the gaming systems into it and make a character up from that. From anything, from the comic world, fucking anything. Robotech, Warhammer, it doesn't matter. You can bring your character in and build up in that universe, and I think that's fantastic. Oh, and Exacto Guru wants to play D&D with you, Wolf. So
let's do it, dude. I'll get a game together. All my pagan and atheist friends.
Before we finish up the hour here, because we're getting fairly close.
Oh man, we are.
I know it goes by so quick, especially when you're having fun too. And it's been awesome, by the way, dude. Just
for sure.
We've only had a few exchanges here and there online and whatnot, but this is the format that I like the best because I actually get to know the people.
Yeah, for sure.
Behavioral issue or not issues, patterns. Sorry, issues.
Oh, what a slip! What an honest slip!
I've got them too. Oh, Odd Little Sea Dragon just subscribed. Oh, thanks.
Good
That's
stuff.
Awesome. I'm glad you like what you're watching here. I do these 3 times a week, and I will be starting up a podcast with Godless Mom, Courtney Hurd, in a little while, and we're going to probably talk to other people as well about altruism and stuff like that. We're going to talk about how people because I think my take is very much like oceans. Atheists and polytheists can band together a hell of a lot better for humanistic type stuff.
Absolutely.
Than the Abrahamic or otherwise religions, right? So
I'm all about interfaith connection, especially with atheists. Like if I meet an atheist who will listen to me for 5 minutes, I want to talk to you. I want to hang out, and I want you to know that I'm not this harmful person.
That's right.
I actively try to keep other pagans from converting sometimes until they're ready. Like we're not here to convert people. We're not here to push our ideals on anybody else. If this is specifically my experience, and I doubt anybody else can have one like it.
Nobody will.
Right.
All our experiences are unique. Send them to me. Yeah, no, I think our, I don't want to say morals, but I guess our ethics and morals run very aligned.
I would agree with that.
Right. So, and I think that's why, and what helps me in this situation is I used to be a pagan. I used to be a polytheist. I was into the Wicca. I was into all that stuff. And Colin knows this as I talked to her about it too when I had her on the show, and same with Ocean. And you're technically, I think, the 3rd or 4th polytheist that I've had on my show. And I really like having polytheists on other than just atheists as well, because it shows that we have that connection and we have that strength behind us. And, I mean, let's face it, we're outnumbered even together. So
that's the stupid part.
Combine forces, and
not for long though. Not for long. They're losing their grip. At least here in the States, they're definitely losing their grip, and that's a good thing.
I agree for sure. Yeah. Harmful belief systems are bad, and I don't think that. Let's face it. I mean, you think of witchcraft. You think of where it sort of stemmed. I don't really think that witchcraft is really like. There's no magic involved in it. Really, it started out as herbology.
Yeah,
they wanted to find things that work together, help people, heal people, and it just got blown out of proportion from there.
I've got a really good friend. He's in the community. His name's Beofeld. I'll name him that way. And he's an amazingly smart scholar. He's one of the smartest dudes I know, and is a pagan and one of my mentors. But when we talk about, is it medicine or is it magic? And he says, why not both? Why can't it be a little bit of, maybe there is a little bit of woo mixed in there when we pray or ask for help outside of ourselves, but then also please take your medicine, like what is it? Take your medicine and do the right things and see the doctor and all that stuff. But
I look at that as more of a ritualistic thing. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing wrong with ritual if that's what works for you.
Right. And if it works for you, and if it doesn't, then that's fine. Nobody needs to do that. The medicine will work just fine.
Yeah, but if it helps someone feel a little bit better about it, you say, "Listen, I'm in your corner, and I'm going to say a few words that'll help to comfort you."
And there are studies done to show that there is a healing factor to that when you have that support and that hope. Like you mentally can hurt yourself if you don't have that hope, and sometimes that's all you need to get you over that little bit of a hump.
It releases the chemicals in your brain. When you hear words that are encouraging, that releases chemicals in your brains that can, and well, they've tracked it actually, that it can help in the healing process. So it's valid. Anyway, I'm the Black Swan, the Sumerian.
Callan's a nut.
Praise Raptor Jesus. No, we don't like raptors. Raptors are bad.
Man, I love raptors. You kidding me?
No, I mean if they're real. And this is why it's funny because my roommate moved into this place because she figures the raptors can't get up here.
Dude, raptors can jump like 20 feet. You gotta be careful.
I know they can. I'm like,
under his claws.
You're not safe. Voltron. Oh yeah, this is a Voltron religion. I think
I love it.
up. I think it's great.
It's all ocean, man.
Yeah, it's ocean exactly.
Ocean is Voltron religion.
Is his intro not the best ever with all the 80s fucking the Jason and the Argonauts and all that and Sinbad?
Yeah, he and I being I'm gonna name drop a little bit. Being one of Ocean's closer friends, I get to see some of that stuff early. And we went. Nice. He showed me a handful of stuff like back and forth, and I definitely agree that he picked the best one. Like that one was that hit the nail on the head. That retro 80s. I love that he's going with that because he was going to go a different direction, and I'm glad that he didn't.
No, I as soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, this is fucking sheer brilliance.
Yep.
Right. I wish I had that kind of savvy to do that kind of shit. Yes, I'm having another beer, folks. Yes.
Do it, dude.
So I don't drink water because there's water in beer.
It's true.
No, I'm just joking. I do drink water. Lots of it. I got to keep myself flushed, at my age. Anyway, you figure what? You figure time to get into an after party?
Let's do it, dude. I'm down when you are.
All right. Well, Wolf brother, thank you, man, for joining me today. This has been so much fun.
I'm glad to be here, man.
And I'm glad you shared your story with us because I think there were some pretty cool moments there.
Yeah, for sure.
And anyway, what's it? What they call that? Frith, I think.
Yeah, Frith and Grith.
Frith and Grith.
This is what we've got here. This is Frith. That's it's good stuff. Mm-hmm. I love it.
And have no fear, man. Atheists and polytheists and pagans will always have each other's backs, especially against the other motherfuckers that are always trying to put us down.
Absolutely, man.
Anyway. All right. So, guys, we're going to get into an after party. If you're interested in joining Wolf and myself in the after party, send me a message on Twitter and I will give you a link. But you got to remember that I really only have room for 4 people other than Wolf and myself because the StreamYard has a 6 maximum in there. Okay. So so let me know, Twitter messages, and you can jump in. What's Twitter? It's that other social media thing that people tend to be afraid of. And I was for years. And now the funny thing is now that I'm on Twitter, I don't use Facebook anymore.
Right.
I find Twitter just quicker, easier. And I don't know.
For sure.
Once you learn how to follow the threads, it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm constantly reading something, and I'll go to respond to what I think is the thread, and I'm responding to one half. I'm creating a and I'm just like, nope, delete that. Copy what I said, and then delete the tweet, and scroll down.
And then wait, I gotta go to the right thread.
I rebelled against Twitter for a long time, but I figure
me too.
If I'm gonna join the big dogs, I gotta get a Twitter and hang out.
Yeah, me too. Really, realistically. Just make a chat group and have people in there too. Oh, but that's kind of what Discord is too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Man, I'm heavy on Discord on all the Discord servers. I help admin a handful of them. I'm a moderator on a handful of others, and then I just hang out in a few others. So you can always find me somewhere.
Sure, mine's almost done. We'll have to ask Inquisitive Quandary because he started it up for me. So
yeah, let me know as soon as you get it done. I'd love to join.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Anyone can join mine. I think it's fantastic, and it's funny because once I get it going, I'll probably end up hanging out on there quite a bit too.
Yeah,
being that it's mine, because I popped into Oceans from time to time, the ACA, Shannon Q's, Apology, and I drop into those guys all the time. So, anyway, all right, guys, thanks for joining Wolf and myself and hanging out with us while he told his story, and we had some really great little epic little stories going on here. It's very comparable, actually, I think, in a lot of cases with each other. I mean, the experiences that we both shared for sure. Anyways, guys, we're going to take off and do an after party. Again, Wolf, man, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks to all you beautiful people for hanging out and watching us. And remember, this one might piss off a few people, but it is my tagline. Remember, guys, what the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge.
It's true.
And we'll see you guys next time.